This is Dunedin, the heart of the Otago province and home to the 2014 Drive South Rally Fest, round 2 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. The championship opener at Whangarei had seen Richard and Sarah Mason power to a commanding lead through the day 1 stages in the north, but a brake problem late on day 1 saw them relinquish the lead to David Holder. Holder then ran out of gas on the final stage to hand the lead back to Mason. Despite a run of bad luck at this event, the Masons went on to hold the lead through day 2 and take 42 points for the round win. So the leaderboard has Mason at 1, Matt Summerfield, great result in 2nd, and rookie Lance Williams doing well in 3rd. Dunedin's Octagon hosted a rally start ceremony on Friday night, but for Rangiora driver Matt Summerfield, the pressure was on just to get across the start line after a midweek disaster.
We were just about to load it on the trailer and I took it for one last run down the road and the engine died, so just lost power. So the boys have worked really hard and I can't thank them enough for throwing together another engine for us.
Auckland's Andrew Hawkswood was debuting his Mazda 2 Maxi, the latest of the new generation cars.
You know, it's been 10 years since we did a full championship and I'm really looking forward to it. You know, it's been 15 years since Mazda were at the sort of the pointy end of the championship as well, so it's going to be a pretty big day tomorrow. I always had a bit of a reputation of being on the limit. Once the green flag drops tomorrow, I think we'll see how we go.
Also at Otago for the first time, the other Maxi rally car of Emma Gilmore.
This is the car's first time it's ever competed here in Otago because we didn't quite make the start line last year. So yeah, I'm really hoping that we can just have a nice smooth run, be competitive and have some good times. Learned a lot from Whangarei. We've made some changes and you know, along with the sequential gearbox we now have in it, I think it'll be, you know, really, I'm quietly confident about tomorrow.
And of course, huge interest in the International Classic Rally.
Clinky, every rally's special, but for classics, this Otago rally is very special.
Yeah, it's a fantastic turnout, isn't it? I mean, it's been a few years since we've had a turnout like this, so really looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Richard Mason, bringing you the B&T stage preview. This morning's day 1 of Rally Otago, and we're heading out south of the city down towards Lawrence. Now, the roads down there are mainly farm-based, very rolling hillside, lots of crests, really quite a fast rally. So the biggest challenge for today is going to be Manuka Hill. It's nearly 50 k's long. It's very fast though. I expect to see the average speeds really high in there, maybe around the sort of 135, 140k mark.
And the B&T stats on stage 1, Fellaburn, it's 12.23 kilometres, a good spectator junction in the middle. The weather is cloudy, not too cold. Richard Mason, number 1 on the road. Expert comments as always from top New Zealand rally driver Glenn Inkster. What about the road conditions today, Inky?
Roads are looking great, nice and sweet, very clean and fair for everyone.
All right, opens, 200, long.
And the other feature about these roads, they are fast, very, very fast. These guys are going to be going flat out.
Down to the finish line on stage 1, Richard Mason will set a time, the benchmark 6 minutes 27.4. Ben Hunt now. Disappointing round 1 with engine issues. Real determination here to get his championship back on track.
Everybody's got high expectations of Ben. He showed last year he's very, very good, and he'll be wanting to match times with Richard.
Ben's time 6 minutes 40.9. Emma Gilmore. She also had problems in round 1. This car still under development. New for round 2, a sequential gearbox. That'll make a difference.
As we see here, when she changes up a gear, she just pulls straight back on the lever. There's an extra ratio as well. It's going to keep that engine making plenty of power, and it just makes a world of difference. Just so fast with those gear changes. On board here again, just watch when she goes up, pulls back, down a gear, straight forward.
Open 7:30. It opens 7:30.
She's still using the clutch, so she's going to take a little bit of time to get used to getting the full benefits from it.
Good start by Emma, second fastest, 8 seconds slower than Mason. Now, big interest in the other Mazda 2 Maxi, Andrew Hawkswood. Very similar to the Suzuki, but running a more torquey 2.3 litre turbo engine.
The actual construction of the car is very, very similar, but running a bigger capacity means they use less revs. You can hear it in the motor. but plenty of grunt getting out those corners.
Hawkswood was fourth fastest, 18 seconds down on Mason, and that time matched by Matt Jansen, who's running a limited campaign this year in a Subaru. Stage 2 Gooseneck, 23.35 kilometres, and we're at the viewing point a third of the way through the stage. There's our top 5 so far. Let's see what sort of pressure they can put on Richard Mason, who posted a time of 11 minutes 27.6 right through here. Chris West was only 10th fastest in stage 1, but pushing hard here to move up to the top 5. Emma Gilmore getting to know this car after 12 months of developing, and looks like she's finally getting those results.
There's a lot of attitude on the car. Emma's always been a very neat and tidy driver, but these cars reward aggressive driving, and you can just see with the wheel lock, the attitude, she's really starting to get the handle of it.
Ben Hart was third through the stage, just 0.4 ahead of Chris West, 2.5 behind Gilmore.
Long 4 right, minus
Tony Rawstrom, the guy calling the notes here, big part of the team effort in this car. He's got to tell a driver exactly what he needs to hear and when he needs to hear it. That's a secret to going fast.
Matt Jansen was tied in 4th with West, but just 6 seconds slower through here, so drops to 5th. Outside the top 5, Matt Summerfield was running with a spare engine, down on power, but in a great battle in the top 10. Rookie Lance Williams improving 4 places on this stage to be 6th overall. David Holder was 7th on stage 1, held that position into stage 2.
This rally all about learning for David Holder and his new co-driver Ben Hawkins.
Similar situation too for Phil Campbell. These young drivers need seat time just to get used to the pace of the top cars and these roads.
And these cars are going fast. Phil's in a four-wheel drive car for the first time. He's just going to take a little bit of time to get used to these notes, and as you can see here, just taking a little bit of care over this crest because he doesn't know how far it's going to go.
Phil was 8th after 2 stages, also having problems. Andrew Hawkswood losing boost in the Mazda, dropping to 10th overall.
Very early on into this 50-kilometre stage 3. That's the longest stage in the NZRC. Every driver's going to want to make a break, and every driver is wanting to set a good time through here. Pace notes, critical. We're looking at a crest behind me. What does the driver do over that crest? That's all about what he's got in the pace notes. Pace notes is a special language between driver and co-driver.
Full crest 250.
6 right plus over crest.
120, absolute crest 30, 6 right opens and junction.
Every combination might have a slightly different way of having their notes, but the 2 key factors: don't go off the road and don't crash. This crest, we want to know how far it goes to the right, how far the crest is. Is the car going to get airborne? Are we going to end out on the left-hand side of the road? So it's all about keeping the momentum up. And as we've seen, this is an 8 right over crest. I would call it a flat 8 right over crest, just so that you know you don't lift the throttle even the slightest bit. Now we're coming into another 7-6 left over another small crest. Very typical of Otago roads, lots of rolling crests. Got to get these pace notes right. And that would be flat as well. Looking at this next crest, another flat left, kink left over crest. These are the things you've got to get right. It takes experience, and you don't always get it right, but it's a secret to going fast.
And at 49.62 kilometres, Manuka Hill will be epic. And here's the road that Glenn was talking about. Let's have a listen.
Absolute crest 50, long 5 right over crest, off camber, keep in. Repeat, keep in.
Well, my notes would have been a bit slower there, but that's why Richard goes so fast. I tell you what, every driver will listen to other drivers' notes and learn from it.
60.
Mason taking the stage by the scruff. Just look at the grip the tyres are getting on this very well swept road too. Emma Gilmore, the next of our top runners, in the other maxi car. This is the midpoint of the stage where the road crosses in open tussock country. Ben Hart ran a 32mm restrictor in Group N form last year, but in 2014 he's running a bigger 36mm, so more power. He'll need it too to match the speed of Mason and Gilmore.
Flat long 7 left, 150.
Chris West also with the power on this stage to make up time. The nature of this road should suit the Mitzi. So can Richard Mason hold the lead? There's certainly no disadvantage being number one on the road here.
No, there's not, and it's great to see the fastest seed first on the road. It just seems right.
23 minutes 30.8, that's the time to beat so far. Next up, let's check out on the road, on the rally with Emma Gilmore.
It's great to see down on the right, her left foot using the brake pedal. It's go-kart style. She got two. Well, she's been aggressive. But left foot braking's a style that rally drivers use all the time because you just have to modulate throttle brakes so many different times through a stage.
Down to the line, Emma Gilmore, her time. And it's going to be slightly slower than Mason, 24.221. The car lacking the high-end power of the Subaru. Maybe a chance now for Ben Hunt to catch Gilmore. His car should be similar to the pace of Richard Mason.
Long 4 left, 180.
Probably not quite as developed as Mason's car, but they're still making improvements every rally.
Coming down to the finish. Time very, very similar to Emma Gilmore, 24.19.4. He retains third. Chris West looking to move up here, but a tyre pressure problem, putting him under pressure, the former champ.
Tyre pressure is critical with getting the performance out of these tyres. They had a small problem with the valve. It's let too much air out, and he's known that the whole stage and had to drive accordingly. It's a big problem. Small problem causes big consequences.
Down to the finish though, not a bad time, 24.13.2, second fastest on the stage. Matt Jansen now down on pace though with a 24.50. First rally of the season for him, so maybe a lack of seat time. Matt Summerfield had started well, but a broken gear lever late in the stage saw him lose over 2 minutes and drop to 14th. David Holder coping well with the speed on the stage, moving up into the top 5.
Last year's car was a small Fiesta, didn't have much power at all, big corner speed, but it's all about a lot faster down the straight, so modifying notes, making the right notes, it's just going to take some time to gel, especially on these roads.
Andrew Hawkswood returning to his flamboyant driving style on the way to 8th overall.
Everybody loves watching Andrew Hawkswood, and in this new car, it's so spectacular. Rewards aggressive. I don't know if anyone's ever been as aggressive as Andrew Hawkswood.
But disaster for Phil Campbell. He lost brake fluid, had to stop to top up, and lost 5 minutes. So Richard Mason extends his lead over Emma Gilmore. Hunt in third, West in fourth, under 10 seconds from second to fourth. David Holder on the move up to 5th place. Marcus van Klink leads the way on the New Zealand Championship Classics, but of course he was battling 3 World Rally stars at the International Classic field. Overall, he was lying 4th in the international rankings, but ahead of former World Rally champion Didier Auriol in the BDA Escort. And all the fans loved that echo of the Escort. Now, the battle in the lead of the Classic Rally, though, was a typical Aussie-Kiwi affair. Neil Bates, fantastic form on the Toyota Celica, taking the charge to her own Hayden Padden. New Zealand's WRC driver back in the stadium cars, Escort BDA, showing just how fast these old cars can still be driven. Plenty of action though with this quality New Zealand rally field. Jeff Judd 10th, leading the Day 1 division of the rally. Southland's Reece Gardner just 10 seconds behind in 11th. Darren Galbraith a few seconds back in 12th, also challenging the one-day division. But Richard Baddock slowed with a faulty ignition coil, which cost him on the long stage. Graham Featherston took a wrong turn early in the day, but by stage 3 had moved back up to 15th. How would you feel? And in front of the spectators. But Brian Green looking at another short rally after the team had worked hard to repair the car from a Whangarei crash. The engine let go on stage 2.
Yeah, well, I guess it's never a good look when there's oil on the windscreen. I don't know if I can ever remember Brian Green having 2 DNFs in a row, so it hasn't been the super start, but he'll be back for the next one.
So results from 9 to 16. Van Klink doing well to head many of the modern cars. Jeff Judd heads the Class 5 one-day rally from Darren Galbraith. Max Bailey heading the New Zealand two-wheel drive class in 16th.
This is the historical town of Lawrence, home to Rally Otago Day 1. Quiet and peaceful now to this. Lawrence is abuzz to the sound, smell and sight of rally cars. Richard, we can see by the stage times that you're having a good run through these stages.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting morning. The roads are very, very swept, and I've expected to have high tyre wear. The first stage I actually lifted off a little bit because I thought, oh, it's really swept, we might get tyre wear like we did at Whangarei. But in actual fact, we've done all 3 stages, 80 odd Ks, very little tyre wear. They can actually get another use, which is unusual.
Richard's got a little bit of a gap. Do you think that's a little bit to do with the power and the top end speed of your car?
Yeah, I think Richard, he's got his car well and truly sorted, and he knows his car really well. So, I mean, he is the benchmark, so it's great to have someone to chase. And we're sort of now, we'll do the development on our car and try and get closer and closer to Richard. Car's got so much still more potential, we're really just at the start of its development, so it's nice just to have that consistency in what the car's doing, so we can now work on the handling and improving that.
A good morning for Ben Hunt in third, but not without a scare.
Now, there's a lot of stage kilometres in this first group of stages. You didn't have any problems with fuel this time?
No problems with fuel this time, which is good, but we had the main ignition feed cut out and stopped the engine, so we had to pull over and start that, which is a bit of a shame, especially in that high speed stuff. So hopefully we're going to hotwire that now, and hopefully I don't have any more dramas.
Phil, some big time loss on that long stage.
Yeah, I think we might have got passed by about 3 cars, which is not really what we wanted. We had a little issue with the brakes, and looks like a hose gun in the bottom of the calipers come loose, and it was just pumping all the fluid out. And we eventually had no fluid, so we stopped in the stage and topped it up. But yeah, still for the rest of the stage, every time I touched the brakes, they went right to the floor, and there was a little bit of stopping happening, but it was pumping fluid out at the same time. So
this is the caliper that's come off Phil Campbell's Evo. A rock's knocked this bolt loose. Instead of pressure pumping this piston in and having the brakes work, he's lost all the fluid out here. No brakes, fast stages, not a good thing to happen.
Stage 4 next, Kean Road, 23.5 kilometres, followed by Reserve Road at 16.6 k's. Richard Mason was again fastest through the stage, but this time he was closely challenged.
7 right plus 50.
New tyres in service making a big difference for Chris West. He was literally, check it out, flying.
7 left minus, opens. 30, flat.
On stage 4, just 3.7 seconds apart. On stage 5, it was even closer, 0.4 the difference. West moved up to second.
There's been a lot of rain up until this rally. How are the roads holding in there?
Look, the roads are really good actually. They're quite hard based at the moment. The tyre wear is the one thing that's been surprising me, how little of it. But okay, we're happy.
Westy, on a bit of a charge, you moved into second before this stage. How did this one go?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. We just probably took a gamble with the softer tyre, and like I said this morning, just ironed out. There's 2 or 3 little things that really played the price on this morning. So hopefully we can move forward from here.
And with Westy lifting his game, Emma Gilmore lost 10 seconds on each stage, which dropped her back to third.
She's keeping the consistency going. Her dropping back to third is all about Westy finding that speed and going very well. Emma's still going good.
6 minus into long
Ben
5
Hart
right.
still plagued with the engine cutting out despite the efforts in service to repair it. He would lose time on each stage, eventually dropping to 13th.
Keep in, long 6 right, 250.
These new Subarus have an electronic throttle, no throttle cable. It's great when it works, but it's very frustrating when it doesn't.
100.
And also enjoying a real roller coaster ride, David Holder, getting used to these blind brows and gaining a bit of confidence as well.
He's really starting to pick up the pace. That's big commitment stuff.
But Matt Jansen slipping back over these stages, dropped as low as 8th before recovering on stage 6 to be 7th. No lack of confidence in the Mazda 2 with the Maxi Man. Hawkswood back up to 6th, although the car's still low on turbo boost.
It's the amount of boost that gives you the power, so he's going to be down on power. But certainly that car is well equipped to go drain to drain, and that's Andrew Stiles. He may be just a little overcommitted there, but these cars are built strong and can handle the knocks.
On board with Lance Williams, the young rookie, was in 6th now and challenging Hawkswood. They were separated by 3.2 seconds by the end of stage 5.
This is his first year in the NZRC. He used this car in a few events last year, but stepping up to the full NZRC and all the pressure that comes with it, he's shown good consistency and already got a 2nd in Whangarei.
60. This is your 6.
Hawkswood's time, 6:59.8.
Over the finish, 80. Then go straight over a bridge, 7 right, 200.
And Williams was 2.7 slower. So going into the final Super Spectator stage, Mason a commanding lead, 1 minute 35 over West. Gilmore 3rd, Holder up to 4th. Hawkswood holds on to 5th by a small 5.9 second margin. Rounding out the other divisions now, Marcus van Cleek leads the New Zealand Classics and 3rd in the International Classic behind Regan Ross and Neil Bates after Hayden Padden crashed out. Ron Davies 2nd in the New Zealand class, unable to match the speed of the RX-7 on these stages, but he was under pressure from the Mazda RX-3 of Andy Martin, who was just 23 seconds behind after 6 stages. In the Gold Scholarship group, Matt Summerfield didn't have the pace of David Holder, but he'd made up some lost time from the morning to be 9th. Richard Baddock also improving over the afternoon to take 10th position, 14 seconds behind Summerfield. Darren Galbraith took the Class 5 one-day lead when Jeff Judd copped a 1 minute 20 penalty at the start of stage 4. Not that Judd wasn't trying his hardest to catch up and catch that time back. Graham Featherston had been nursing a patched-up engine all morning, so hanging on in here in 14th and hoping the car would just last the rally. Phil Campbell's had a lot of time to make up after the problems on stage 3. He lacks time in the car to get that speed, but the stage times kept improving throughout the afternoon, eventually finishing in 15th place.
Very frustrating to have the brake problem, but still experience to be had and also good stage times to go after.
Engine damage forced Reece Gardner to retire out of 13th place. And the screaming Dave Strong not having the power to compete on this day, but a new V6 engine is on its way to boost his chances when he returns at Wairarapa. David Thexton running under the guidance of Possum Board Motorsport this weekend.
It can be a big help to have people with that much experience guiding your rally, just to leave David ready to concentrate on his driving, get the notes right and do a good job out on the roads, leave the other guys to sort the other things.
In the open two-wheel drive class, Max Bailey showing great speed in the Fiesta to take the lead. Brent Taylor getting to grips with the rear-wheel drive FT86. Great sounding car though. In the smaller capacity cars, another Toyota, this time the front drive Corolla of last year's winner Hamish Anderson. And good to see Jeff Torkington making the trip south. The MR2 not ideal on these roads, but he was building up championship points along the way.
Richard, you're complaining of the front brakes going away a little bit in those last stages?
Yeah, look, I just pulled a couple of pads out, and as you can see, they're a little bit glazed on the surface. And what it is it's quite fast down here, and we're heavily pushing on the brake coming into corners. And what's happening is the pad surface is overheating. So what we're going to do, because there's good grip, is that we're going to put a more aggressive pad in the front of the car, and the intention is so that we don't have to push the pedal so hard to actually get it to stop it. We shouldn't get the glazing effect that goes on with it.
For a first run of the car, it's going pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. We're still struggling a little bit with the boost problem we've got. You know, as I said earlier, we thought it was the engine temperature that was causing it, but it's still doing the same thing. So, you know, it's just not making any power. But you know, I'm trying my hardest. But yeah, we're still here. It's all good.
Will you be able to do something with that about that tonight?
Yeah, we've got to throw another turbo at it tonight and try another couple of items tonight and see how we get on.
You're well and truly in second place now. The tarmac to come, what changes will you do to the car?
I guess to a certain point we're limited we could really carry it away and change spring rates and stuff, but no, we'll just wind in as much low speed as we can on the shock that it'll take and run a tarmac Pirelli tyre and go and have some fun, mate.
And fun is the idea on the closed streets of Dunedin. Don't try this in your road car. For the record, Richard Mason was fastest, a new record time of 1:27.6. Andrew Hawkswood chose style over speed, ran on gravel tyres and lost, but had fun. So, final results for the day sees Mason 1 minute 36 ahead of Weston, Gilmore, Holder and Williams, who took 5th place by beating Andrew Hawkswood on the tarmac stage. Van Klink takes the New Zealand Classic. And in the one-day rally, first celebrations, Darren Galbraith, the winner over Jeff Judd.
Well, you got to get here first, and you certainly did that. Great roads for these older Evo 6s.
Yeah, the roads were grouse today, eh? They were real good, so yeah, we're a bit rusty at the start, but getting to grips with the notes later on, it was good.
Before the rally starts, the drivers and co-drivers get one pass of reconnaissance. This is their chance to check their notes from last year or to start again and write new notes. If they get this right, the whole rally will go well. They'll be fast and consistent. If they don't get it right, at best they'll be slow, at worst they'll be off the road. So a good job in reconnaissance makes for a good rally. With Ben Atkinson, one of the more experienced co-drivers around, can you just explain to us what you're doing today and even maybe a little bit of what your notes mean?
Alright, today we're doing the reconnaissance for the rally and we've got a day and a half of that before the event. Gives us a chance to go over the roads, to have a look and write a set of pace notes. So the organisers give us a road book, which is this one on my left here. It basically gives us junction, T-junction, things like that, working off a cumulative distance. The driver will tell the co-driver what they want down as the notes. So that's the second book that I've got here, where I've actually started writing down. Now we use a number system of 1 to 8 for Emma, but every driver has their own system. Lefts and rights, crests, bumps, whether to cut, whether to don't cut, if there's a dangerous corner. So we put all of that into the notes. Every co-driver develops their own shorthand over time. So as you're going along at 50 to 60k an hour, you've got to be able to write this stuff down fairly quickly.
7 right, crest opens 100.
Quite a bit of work goes into this, and if you don't get this right, you're either not going to be fast, or if you commit to too much, you'll end up rolling it into a ball. So, really important part on the rally. It's the homework for the rally so you can go fast.
Coming up, action on day 2. Can Mason make it 2 from 2? And it's a stunning Sunday morning too, as the drivers arrive at Parc Ferme to collect their cars. Day 2 will be held on traditional Rally Otago roads, and here's Richard Mason with the B&T Stages preview.
Hi, I'm Richard Mason and welcome to Day 2 Rally Otago with the B&T Stage preview. Well, today is a totally different day to what we had yesterday. We moved from the fast-flowing stages out towards Lawrence, closer to Dunedin, into the forests, where it's going to be a totally different game.
Stage 8, Tyree Beach. First up, 16.7 Ks. Very popular spectator junction. New start order though, based on the day 1 results, and Richard Mason still first on the road.
Whoa, that sunstroke, that's not nice to drive into that sort of stuff at these speeds.
Repeat, Tyson.
No, +4. Sorry, I thought you said 6.
Repeat, Tyson.
I thought you said 6. It's all right.
Now, sit down at 4 left minus. Repeat long, 4 left minus.
So a lucky escape for Mason there, maybe just not quite concentrating on the first stage of the morning. Chris West next on the road. He'll be keen to take the day to Richard Mason. These roads are very well known to the top drivers too.
They've done these roads in both directions in past Otago rallies, so they will know the roads. West is going to be keen to... Oh, he's got sunstroke there as well.
Sorry, Chloe.
That's a major crash for Chris West. Looks like they're both okay though. Now the next car through is Emma Gilmore. And there's Chris Cobb, he's the co-driver. Hasn't got the OK board though, so Westy must still be in the car.
Unless you see a clear OK board, the next driver must stop. You know, we're all in rallying together. Got to look after your peers. They want to make sure Westy's okay. This has been a big accident, and of course safety does come first. He's activated the rally safe, that's what that yellow light is for. The next car on the road, their job, go to the next radio point and get the relevant information through. We rely on rally safe, but we have to also cover the basics and do the old system. Nothing matters about stage times now, it's all about making sure people are okay.
Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Of course the stage is still open and Lance Williams next through. That's an OK sign that Ben Atkinson is showing, so Williams continuing. Looks like Westy is out of the car too.
Very long 5 left, Titans late, just slow down.
Very easy to be distracted after seeing something like that, and you're still going fast.
4 left plus. Oh, mate. Gas, 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 gas. Okay, that was a 4 left plus, not really.
Now the stage was stopped and the results cancelled. And looking back at the car, back in the workshop, man, it was a massive impact.
As you can see by the pictures, massive damage, and it's not only to the bodywork, it's to suspension, the drive line, even the engine block is damaged. On this occasion, we certainly won't be making it to Canterbury.
Next up, it's the Vins Power Stage, the iconic Kuri Bush. Mason first up, and he'll be eyeing the record Glen.
This is a very spectacular stage. Richard will always want to go fast, always trying to break that record, but tyre temperature is going to be a problem. There's been a bit of a pause before the stage has started.
Plus opens, and crest left to right, 5 right minus 50, finish 30, long 5 left.
Time for Mason, 7 minutes 36.3.
Look, road conditions fantastic. You know, there's quite a line on the road, a little bit like yesterday, where you have to sort of stick to the hard line to get the grip. So, you know, if you cut across and make a wider line, it's not necessarily faster.
So he was just outside the record. Next up, Emma Gilmore.
Emma was first on the scene at Westy's crash. Big effort to try and put that aside and go fast on the stage. Very daunting stage. Of course, Emma's had her own big crash on a high-speed road, so to go fast is going to be a big challenge.
So down to the finish now. It's all about the mind games on the swept gravel, and her time is 7:44.7, so 8.4 seconds slower. Next up and over the hill, it's David Holder. Can he get past Emma Gilmore?
Long 5 right, nips off, small crest, 150.
I don't think anyone's going to have Richard's pace today. This road, it's almost like a rally sprint, but you only get one pass a year to refine your notes and go faster. David will make it better for next time, but he's not going to match Richard.
Not today, 27 seconds down on Mason's pace. Lance Williams not on the pace of Mason, 52 seconds slower, but look at this fantastic road.
Middle over crest, 10 to a 6 left.
Andrew Hawkswood next, and looks like he's hit something.
That wouldn't be Andrew without a bit of a bumper missing. I don't actually think he hit anything, or he hasn't looked like he has, but I think he just uses all the road.
Whoa, he
and
just
a bit
about
more.
tried to hit something then. Called the bank. Hawkswood 31 seconds down. Matt Jansen having a crack. Third fastest at this point. But next up, Matt Summerfield with a 7 minutes 52.5, so he moves up into third. Points awarded for the first 5 places, remember. Richard Baddock, one of the older cars in the field, not challenging for a place in the top 5, but enjoying these fantastic roads. Ben Hunt, the last of the top competitors, down to the line. What can his time be? 7:47.8, Hunt takes third spot. So confirming the top 5 in the Vins Power Stage, Mason, Gilmore, Hunt, Summerfield and Jensen. Coming up, the challenge of Berwick Forest, a 40-kilometre gutbuster. Stage 10, Macintosh Road, just 8.2 kilometres, taking the cars over the Otago Coast Hills down to the service park. Richard Mason now on a mission to win all the stages in the rally, something he did here in 2008, but very hard to achieve. He won this stage, but it was close. Ben Hunt having a red-hot go at Mason, just 0.9 behind. Also having a good run, Phil Campbell starting to find some pace in the roofing store, Evo 9. Let's take a ride along Macintosh Road and enjoy the roller coaster ride.
4 left 60, crest 50, 6 left minus 30.
Richard, the stage winning streak continues this morning.
Yeah, it's been a good morning for us stage times, with our stage times. There's only a small margin today so far, but we'll just try and manage that over the course of the day. We don't need a massive lead, we just need to, lead the day.
The Curry bushes, you're always going to struggle to get anywhere near Hayden or Richard through there. They've done it a handful of times, and we're pretty stoked to be within the second decade of them. But yeah, and Little Macintosh was an awesome stage. I love that one.
The rally now headed up Waipori Gorge before entering Berwick Forest, and Richard Mason finally struck trouble with a puncture.
Long 5 left, minus 30, yeah. 5 right plus. So what is it, sorry?
Also in trouble was Emma Gilmore after such a positive weekend in which she seemed to have finally found the pace on this new car. The engine stopped early in Berwick and they were unable to restart the Suzuki. With Mason delayed and Gilmore stopped, Ben Hunt took over the lead for day 2, while Mason would drop down to 6th.
Short 7 left.
Ben's having a great day. What could have been if they didn't have their problems yesterday?
Keep in, 6 left, over finish, 120. Long 5 left minus. Long 5 left minus.
Matt Summerfield must love this Forest. He moved up 3 places here, now 2nd for day 2, although 1 minute 50 behind Hunt. And David Holder also making gains here, moving up 4 spots to take 3rd position.
And what a challenge for the drivers. Narrow, tight, twisty, slippery forestry roads. Lots of little places to get caught out. It's a big challenge and often a game changer.
And from the wild rides of the roller coasters of the Otago Rally, an interesting encounter for Lance Williams in the Forest with a bit of wildlife.
And 5 left. Whoa, hey. Whoa, get out of the way, Freddie. Come on, Rudolph, get off. Now this is a double caution, narrow 3 right.
Richard, after everyone had a relatively trouble-free run yesterday, today's all about drama.
Yeah, in the long stage in Berwick Forest, we picked up a puncture and had to stop and change it. We had about half the stage to go. End result being we've lost nearly 3 minutes to Ben Hunt, who was fastest through the stage. So yeah, for the day we need to pull finger now and pull back a few places. We've gone down to 5th for the day, so we'll try and get that back up to 2nd for the day and keep it at 1st overall.
From the frustrations of yesterday to elation today, it's going pretty good. You're leading the day standings.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Waipori Gorge is an awesome stage, and it kind of got me into a bit of rhythm and found something back that we had last year. So that Berwick Forest, we pushed through there pretty hard and obviously came over the win.
It was a very good time through the big stage.
Yeah, it was awesome. We pushed pretty hard at the start, and through the slippery stuff at the end, we slowed down a little bit and just took it a bit cautious down there. It's pretty gnarly bit of road, and it can catch a few people out, so we didn't want it to be us.
So with just 2 stages remaining, Hunt leads. Jansen another good day in 4th. Can Richard Mason move up from 6th though over the final 38 kilometres? In the other classes, Marcus van Klink was leading the New Zealand Classics, now 2nd overall in the International Classic field, but disaster in the Forest. He slipped off the road into a ditch, losing 10 minutes, dropping to 16th overall. Ron Davey was close enough to take advantage and scored the day 2 win in that class. But the overall International Classic winner went to Neil Bates of Australia. Dave Strong took 10th position, this car returning to Auckland for a long-awaited engine transplant. Max Bailey took 2-wheel drive honours and 11th place. Brent Taylor scored his first finish in the FT86. Thexton also survived all the drama to bring his car home.
And David didn't have such a good run last year with reliability. This year he's really focusing on getting to the end, and that's a victory in itself sometimes.
So it's been a real battle of attrition in the two-wheel drive class. Hamish Anderson, defending champ, knows what it's like to actually just bring the car home and pick up the points. Phil Campbell finished 9th, but got the important experience he needs in the car.
These roads down in Otago are just so completely different. It really is good just to battle on, get to the end of the event and gain that experience.
Lance Williams was top rookie in 8th on roads which are particularly difficult for the inexperienced driver. In fact, he was lucky not to be sidelined here on stage 14.
Oh! And a long fire right. You're right, mate. Keep going. Well, that was rough, but rougher than I thought. You okay? 7 left minus, 400. Out into my undies.
And also happy to bring the car home in 7th place, Richard Baddock in the old Subaru. So that's a good effort. 6th place on day 2 for Andrew Hawkswood, but a good debut for the latest maxi rally car, the mighty Mazda.
Long 5 left, 200.
David Holder 5th for day 2, also 2nd in the 2-day rally, so a strong result after a disappointing opening round. 4th for Matt Jansen. And 3rd for Matt Summerfield. Amazing considering his team had replaced an engine on the Friday.
Right opens 50.
The day 2 win for Ben Hunt shows that he definitely has the pace to be at the forefront of the New Zealand Rally Championship. But problems at round 1 and then again on day 1 of this rally means that he has an uphill battle to be in with a title chance at the end of the season.
5 left into cut 2 right. .250, keep in a 6 right minus.
He couldn't make it a perfect score rally, but Richard Mason did fight back over the final 2 stages to make it 2nd for the day behind Hunt. But an emphatic win in the outright rally, boosting his chances of another title.
Well done, Richard. Fantastic effort. It looked like plain sailing, but that long stage took its toll.
Yeah, look, our B&T Subaru's been running really well all weekend. For some reason, we picked up a puncture. Can't understand how that happened. We were driving pretty carefully, but hey, these things do happen. And, you know, it's great to still get the time back, 1st overall.
Confirming Ben Hunt, the day 2 winner over Mason, Summerfield, Jansen, Holder and Hawkswood. Dunedin's iconic railway station hosted the finish of the International Otago Rally. A chance for the drivers to just take a breath, relax, bit of relief, and get set to celebrate a fantastic event. So the overall result going to Richard Mason, David Holder in 2nd, Matt Jansen 3rd in his return to the championship. So let's see how the points stack up now. Mason leads with 84, Matt Summerfield 2nd with 39, Williams 3rd 31, Holder 4th with 21. So as we celebrate victory at Otago, it's Canterbury Rally next up. Starting Saturday night, the 31st of May, with 2 night stages in Ashley Forest. Then on the 1st of June, Queen's Birthday weekend, North Canterbury will host a day of rallying.